I'm Addison Smith with Campus Reform. We're in Washington, D.C. today, right outside Georgetown University. Last year's Thanksgiving was the cheapest Thanksgiving for American families in several decades. Now, just a year later, the New York Times has called it potentially the most expensive Thanksgiving in American history. We're going to be getting students' reactions to this inflation that we're seeing. Do they think that the Biden administration bears any responsibility for it? And do they think that maybe American families were better off under President Trump? Let's find out. With Thanksgiving coming up this year, a lot of families are concerned about rising inflation affecting the cost of the Thanksgiving. Is that something that you've heard about or thought about at all?
No, I probably should know more about that. That's my first time hearing about that being a problem.
Personally, no, I've not heard of that or thought about it at all.
Personally, no, and I think I am part of the lucky people who don't yet have to worry about it getting too bad.
I've actually read a few articles about it and just how this is going to be the most expensive Thanksgiving in documented history. So I think that's a big concern for a lot of families.
But I definitely see how a lot of people could be more food insecure, having trouble getting food on the table for Thanksgiving.
I haven't honestly heard about that a lot because all my friends are just planning trips and anything. But now that you mention it, I think I should read about it.
Last year's Thanksgiving was reportedly the cheapest in over 3 decades. And already this year, a year later, there's reports out that this could be the most expensive Thanksgiving in American history.
Wow, I had no idea, and I'm curious why that would be.
That's crazy to hear that. I just wish I had paid more attention to that. I don't even know why that is not even on my radar.
It's really kind of disappointing, first off, that's where we are. I'm probably part of the 5% in DC who did not vote for Biden.
That's shocking how quickly prices like that can climb. I didn't know that about last Thanksgiving.
That's really surprising because even last year I stayed on campus, but we were able, we did a Friendsgiving and it was really cheap.
Oh, that's really astonishing.
I want to read off a couple popular Thanksgiving items, show you how much they've gone up in price the past year. So when your family goes shopping for Thanksgiving this year, you can expect to pay 22% more for a turkey. You can pay 12% more for meats, poultry, fish, eggs, all those things.
Why is that?
Nearly 5% more for each spice and seasoning you buy, and nearly 8% more for salad dressings, 3% more for bakery items. Does that surprise you at all?
That definitely surprises me, yes.
These 22% and these percents are a big deal for them.
It's really weird to think that food staples like that are just so inaccessible and expensive.
It's not surprising that everything's increased, but just the amount that it's increased is crazy. I think a lot of it has to do with probably the supply chain issue that our country's experiencing right now. I think the cost of everything is rising. It's not just grocery foods and popular items for Thanksgiving.
Are you going to be traveling for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I'll be going to Miami.
I am, but luckily I live pretty close to here.
Okay, so you're also going to pay 50% more in gas than you would have last year.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Wow, 50%.
50%.
See, I didn't even consider any of that. I just figured we were going home for Thanksgiving.
They're going to pay about 50% more for gas than they would have last year.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a little frustrating too as well, isn't it?
Do you think that with the Biden administration passing all these exorbitant spending bills, printing a lot more money, do you think that that's what's causing all of this inflation?
Definitely, yeah.
I do think they're correlated because there usually are in the past in history that if you're passing more bills and you're increasing, it does increase inflation, yeah.
So you think he does bear some responsibility?
Yes.
He does. I don't know how, after God knows how many times countries have thought that was the solution, we're going to figure out that's not the solution. You can't just print more money because you feel like spending more money.
Do you think that American families were better off financially under the previous administration than they are now?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I know even very liberal friends who were like, oh yeah, no, this is a much better economic situation under Trump or even under Obama. Yeah, it was a much better situation under Trump.
If it's true that, there's a dramatic rise in inflation and it's only been in the last year since Biden's administration has been here, I would say yes.
If you were to, hone in on just this particular moment and all those Thanksgiving stats, I would say obviously yeah.
That's hard to say.
As much as you might not want to admit it?
Yeah.
Biden remorse they might be having?
Yeah, I think so, and I think a lot of people are.
Hi, I'm Ophelia Jacobson with Campus Reform. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I can guarantee you're going to like our other videos on our YouTube channel. So make sure to subscribe here so you never miss out on our content. And if you're interested in helping us expose more liberal bias on college campuses across the nation, you can donate here.